program dedicated to Gene Valentino this morning at 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Gene. Professor Michael, isn't it?
I mean, you can call me what you want, but I've got some July 4th trivia that I wanted to put forth today because, I think it's important that we remember what, about the 4th of July, the history of the 4th of July. We had a president speak yesterday that talked about the Constitution and used quotes from the Declaration of Independence, right? So, I mean, he doesn't even know. He's the president of the United States. So people should know some of these things. It's just a little trivia here. So we'll get started. I got about 10 questions here. And, either one of you guys can answer this. Does either one of you guys know where the first celebration of Independence Day was held?
Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, correct. 1777. That's correct. Every Independence Day, how many times does the Liberty Bell ring? So far, Ted 2, Gene 0.
I'd say it rings 10 times.
It rings 13 times.
Okay.
13 colonies. That's right. All right. So, what was the name of the newspaper that published the Declaration of Independence?
The Inquirer?
The Inquirer didn't come around till the 1970s.
It'd probably be the Philadelphian something.
No, the Pennsylvania Evening Post.
Okay.
All right. So number 4, the 4th of July commemorates which document?
The Declaration of Independence.
Declaration.
Yeah. Gene, I didn't know I was going to have a test today.
Oh my God.
I'd have taken a shower or something.
That's right. All right. Which president of the United States was the very first to host a 4th of July celebration at the White House?
Let's see. Maybe Jefferson?
Jefferson, there you go. You got that one. Jefferson in 1801. That was the first celebration at the White House. Okay, how many total people signed the Declaration of Independence?
About 33.
Gene?
Thinking it's around 51 or something.
You're okay. You're the closest, so you're going to get this one. It was 56.
56.
Yeah, 56, including that guy. Who was the guy who signed his name so big that the king would have no trouble reading it?
He founded a big insurance company and made a lot of money afterwards. John Hancock.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why people use that term. Put your John Hancock right here, something like that. We've heard that all our lives. He really did something to memorialize his name in the history of our country. No question about it. Every 4th of July, what is the food that is most commonly consumed?
This is Gene's up his alley there. For sure, it's probably Chateaubriand. Is that it?
If it's not chicken or turkey, it's got to be hot dogs.
There you go. Hot dogs. You got it. Hot dogs. 150 million hot dogs will be eaten on the 4th of July in the United States of America. That is an estimate that the folks that put this survey together found. So,
Jenny Craig, here I come.
Yeah, and they also have. Remember now, this is when they have the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, which has Ted. You know this, and Gene, you may not, but the greatest athlete in the world. Nobody can touch him, and that's what's his name? Joey Chestnut.
Yeah. Have you ever seen them? They drink water and just shove it down their throat.
Listen, Joey Chestnut, the greatest athlete ever. Touch him.
Can't touch this.
That's right. Okay, so what is the name of the national anthem of the United States of America?
The Star Spangled Banner.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey, Gene, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to see about getting you some Geritol.
Gene, that youth you spent in Cuba is coming back on you. On the
help me out, Ted. I need all the help I can get.
Okay. This one's, I think you can get this one. Who gave the Statue of Liberty to the United States, Gene?
Oh, France.
There you go. All right.
They're still giving it to us, aren't they?
They ought to return to the Statue of Liberty and not towards China every time they get a little whimper.
Yeah. Okay. So the last question, and this is really cool. I didn't know this, honestly, and you two may not know it either until this morning when I read this. There were 2 presidents that died on the 4th of July in the same year. Do you know who they were?
I'm guessing at one, I think, is John Adams, but I think the other one for sure is Thomas Jefferson.
You got it. Okay,
Oh
so
my God.
John and Thomas Jefferson both died on the 4th of July, 1826, which, by the way, was the 50th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, which they both signed.
Gene didn't
Right.
do too good, but he reads the obituaries every day, doesn't he?
Gene, Ted and I have a friend that lives over in Baton Rouge, and he's got a place in New Orleans too. And they have, what do they call that, Ted? The club that they
The obituary club.
The obituary club.
That's the secret order of the obituary club.
And they go every Friday and read obituaries of friends that have passed.
But they drink a lot on Friday too during happy hours.
And they have a drink to them.
It kind of goes to.
Okay, all right. Back to some serious business.
I'm going to turn it over to y'all. I'm going to drink some coffee.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so Gene, big week this week. You know, a lot of things going on. I mean, I don't even know where to start. We've got all of these issues with Hunter Biden. The judge, you know, has an opportunity, I think, to do something there. You've got President Biden, who is a cognitive mess. I mean, he gets up in the middle of an interview and at CNN and walks off this set. You know, I mean, it's just like he doesn't even know where he is, what he's doing. I mean, what are your thoughts about this week? And, you know, and also, you know, maybe we could lean toward Independence Day and what's happening next week and any of that, anything you want to talk about.
Oh, I'm glad you brought this up, Michael, and thanks for the quiz in the beginning. But, you know, about the quiz you just did, most proud Americans, they're Republicans and are probably over 50 years of age. The least patriotic and the least proud Americans are the Gen Y and Gen Z crowd, basically under 35. And if we get beyond all the noise of all the issues we can talk about in just a minute, my concern is that we take back and resecure the patriotic control over this nation. It's a multifaceted, multi-path initiative that we must put in place to restore the confidence, the pride, the honor, and the respect, not only for America, but America's flag, which we desperately need to do. Shame on us if we lose it and forget about it. The woke, liberal left couldn't be happier to see Joe Biden being such a cognitive mess and allowing the inner circle of the deep state to maintain control and to continue to keep you and me off balance through Geno's 3Ds, divert, deflect, and distract with the issues of the day that remove us from the spirit and the patriotism and therefore the commitment we should all have toward protecting this nation. Oh, we can disagree on issues from time to time. Come on, we do it every day. Who agrees 100% of the time to 100% of the other guy's commentary? None of us do. But at least we show respect and decency toward each other in the process of that exchange. And we should continue to do it and think about that as we hold our hand to our heart on this year's celebration of the 4th of July. And for those over 50, make an effort to get those under 40 educated, because they've been in a vacuum between COVID and everything else, Michael. They've been in a vacuum. It was Trump that promised at a gathering last week to restore the patriotic control and in public education, the control of public education being our number one priority. If and when he returns to the White House. He promises to put in place an immediate executive order to cut federal funding of any school system that's pushing this critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, and political content stuff on our children before they even have a driver's license. And, you know, Ron DeSantis in Florida is doing the same thing right now. His actions in Florida speak louder than his words. He's done it. That's why Floridians are confused as to whether they want to lose him as governor if he becomes president, because he's done such a good job doing what must transcend on the national level. And I think that we're going to be okay. If I walk away from this next week of patriotic thinking, I'm confident that the system, with all its frailties, has the ability to protect itself. We trip and fall and get our nose bloody from time to time, and we're certainly experiencing that now. But we need a real transformation of thinking, and I trust it's about to come.
You know what? One of the things that I did want to talk about this morning, we got about 3 minutes left in this segment, but you know, yesterday the Supreme Court issued a ruling about race preferences in college, which to me, I don't know if you look at it, to me, it looks like that affirmative action is over with. I mean, if at least for the near term, if anybody brings a case about anything to do with affirmative action, it looks like this Supreme Court is going to say, you know what, there's nowhere in the Constitution that you can support doing this. And people have said this for 50 years.
That's correct.
So, what do you think about this?
Well, it was only 25 years ago, Michael, Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor said that this whole affirmative action initiative will be about a 25-year initiative, because the protections you need to put in place for our transgressions of the past will be no longer necessary. Affirmative action may melt away because we addressed it. And now we need to make sure we protect the rights of every citizen and give equal opportunity to everybody, not only in the educational process, although through the school system, that's where this Supreme Court case began, but nationwide on all other levels of operation, government, employment, and so forth.
You know, it's almost like this. The unions came about because workers were being treated so horribly. In this country, you can't imagine, you know, 80-hour work weeks, no overtime. If you complained, they would punish you, fire you, whatever. So the unions came about because of those issues that the companies were utilizing against the workers. You know, using company money, for example. That was something that happened in our country.
That's right.
You company money. You had to go to the company store and buy whatever you needed. So unions came about and stopped a lot of that stuff. But over the years, as laws came into effect to protect people from that kind of malfeasance by companies, you know, the unions became less and less important. Now, you know, unions are nothing more than a political tool for the Democratic Party.
That's correct. That's correct. And by the way, before we run, a recent poll just shows that 78% of the Republicans and 72% of the Democrats oppose affirmative action in colleges and universities. So I'm just speaking to the facts before I even give you my opinion. That's the fact. And I think the Democrats have. Go ahead.
20 seconds. I want you to tell us what's happening next weekend.
Gene is honored to be part of the Blue Angel Air Show in Pensacola. I will be flying my Icon A5 in front of 150,000 people across Pensacola Beach. That's my expression of patriotism.
There you go. Gene Valentino, thank you. Have a wonderful 4th of July, Independence Day weekend, and good luck next week. We know that you won't be with us next week, but we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Likewise, buddy. Well wishes to everybody.
Hey, enjoy that very much. 3 guys that love to say, God bless America.
God bless America. That's right.